Hello, Mr. Ferguson. How in the hell are you over there today, Mr. Ferguson? This is November 9 Golf Tango Oscar.
Oh, Roger, Roger. Well, you're sounding mighty good now. What did you do?
Well, we won't discuss what I did, who I did, how I did it. We'll just say that I did it. That would be the damnedest easiest way of all to get away with it. Yeah. Let me check a few things here real quick while we're doing something here, so that I know in my heart that this old girl is doing good. All right, let's check a couple other things here. Okay, all the residuals are gone now. I had a residual. Something was floating, and it damn near knocked my ass off. But I said, enough of that. I'm going to stop that. We're going to put that to an end. I went over to the bus panel and made sure all the connections were tight, and made sure that if there's any issues going on at all, it's taken care of. Which, Jimmy, I believe I did. Let me get in here in my relaxing chair here with the great KC9VKV, and yeah, it took me a little bit to get used to. What happened was I got rid of the wire nuts and I put a disconnect box in, and I'm not gonna fool with these wire nuts or anything like this. And one of those aluminum connectors, it tightened down, but it wasn't totally tightened down. So I pulled that out and I flipped the wire over and doubled it up, stuck it up in there. I was probably looking for a 6-gauge wire, but it's all taken care of now. So, but yeah, it's definitely doing what it's supposed to do, and it's working quite well. So I'll deal with the equalization of it in a later time. Hello, Mr. Ferguson, KC9VKV and 9GTO.
Well, Roger, Roger. I think whatever you did worked. And when you said you couldn't divulge what you did, you probably didn't necessarily know what you did. But yeah, I'm joking. You knew what you did. You tightened up the ground. And before it's over, you may find that you're going to need an additional ground rod just to make everything work a little bit better and keep the RF out of the AF.
Well, Jimmy, the KC9VKV with N9GTO, there is a 1 7/8 heliax hardline buried along inside the fence, damn near 200 feet long, length of the property, and it goes around the tree out front. And I'm not sure how it's interacting with the inverted V. There's something going on there. I mean, it's a sweet spot. It's working great, but that's about 3 inches down below the grade. And why he did that, I'll never know. But that was something Charlie did. Then there's some 7/8 copper tubing going around the whole house. There's damn near 200 feet of copper tubing going around the whole house. So when we tilled up the grass and got everything all looking good, there's several ground rods in different places. And then the tower has its own ground, and it goes out to the field with some other stuff that, you know, all this had to be done to his little liking. But what happened is when I was putting this disconnect box in, I was metering the ground current on this meter, and I noticed that there was some current appeared on the ground side, and that bothered me. And I was like, wait a minute, that ain't right. Then all of a sudden it started moving a little bit, and so once I got it all straightened out, the meter now is resting at 0. So, and it's just a sampling circuit. It's not breaking the wire or anything. It's just a sampling circuit. And so, you know, you basically want that for a fault situation. And there's a 10-foot driven ground on one side of the building and a 10-foot driven ground on the other. And there's number 4 solid copper coming in on both of them to the entrance panel here, and various other things as well. So I don't think that, other than just general housekeeping, and that's something that needed to be done. I mean, I'm a little embarrassed about, the things I needed to do. I've been putting things off, focusing too many things on the farm and too many things on Zach's house, and kind of letting everything else kind of go. So I bent that wire over, which is a 10 gauge. Well, I think it's a 10 gauge wire, and then like I said, it's overkill anyway. The transmitter only has very, very small breakers in the front of little mini set breakers, so it doesn't require a whole lot of power. But I was really wanting to visually see, and instead of putting a ground fault interceptor in there, I just wanted to meter any kind of anomalies of current on the ground side, so that I can, get away from that. But I'm monitoring the field effect from the RF meter, like we've been doing before, sampling it and doing it real well from the grid in here. The 2x2 grid. All this is a grid panel in here for the acoustical ceiling. I've got a wire tied to it and tied to a field stream meter. So anything kind of, I can look at different meters, it's kind of fly by eye, VFR kind of thing. But it's all adding up, having a good time. So I'll eventually get to the greatest this and this and this down the road. But for right now, one microphone, one transmitter, one antenna. KC9VKV L-9GTO.
Oh, roger that. Well, the old test is open the mic up 10 to 15 dB hotter than what you would normally use for zero level. And if you're not getting any RF feedback, you're in good shape. If you got 10 to 15 dB headroom over zero without picking up any undue RF, then all systems are go, and there is no problem. Which I'm thinking that this radio station that I'm hearing in the background there is. I'm not real sure what that is. I've never heard it before, but it maybe. Do you have any secondary power levels, or just that one power level?
When you're transmitting, I'm hearing the radio station too. I'm hearing 970. Is that what you're hearing?
I don't know. I know it's a commercial station. I just haven't figured out which one it is yet. I haven't heard an ID.
Yeah. I was hearing Dennis Prather a while ago when we were talking. So, and they're pretty strong. For some reason, they really crank up the power in the daytime here. I guess that's the anomaly of broadcast, is crank it up to this and that, and at nighttime somebody else gets to crank it up while the other folks get to go to lower power. So, there...
Whoops.
I had a lisp there. I'll deal with that when the limiter comes in. But there is provisions to do all that, but at this time, this thing here, if I move one knob without asking the wife or calling the builder, I'm going to get fired. So the only thing I've done so far is change the distance. Well, there's one knob I've been working on. That's the output is left the same, but there was a little level I was able to work on the microphone issue. So, but I'll leave it alone for right now. And the only thing the wife wants me to do is if there's any changes made, it's got to be done in a dummy load, and then she wants to hear it on the other end before I'm done. And she's just being a little precautious. She's, matter of fact, there's a key that's been installed. When the gentleman left, the wife came home. The following night, Saturday night, the wife installed the key on the back of the transmitter now, so I can't even get it now. If I want to take the whole front out, I can. But yeah, she's got it keyed. She says, "Your hands off of the masterpiece." So it's like, okie dokie. She said, you got your schematics, and you want to lead it. If you want to have all the schematics blowed up in posters and wallpaper your walls with it, that's okay. But you need to keep your hands out of the transmitter. So I think I'm going to take her advice on it, Jimmy. What do you say about that?
Well, I mean, if she's holding the key, I would say that you probably don't have an option there. I mean, if she's got the key, you're going to stay out of the back. So it sounds good, man. I can't wait till you you know, get more familiar with it and get your audio set up there the way you want it, and should be Katie bar the door, Roger.
Well, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do right there. Just for you, I'm going to enhance it just a little bit more and watch what's going on. So far, so good. I'm flying by wire, and I'm having a whole lot of fun. Do you like what you hear right there? Go ahead.
Yes, sir. It's come up quite a bit there. Sounds like you're getting a good percentage of modulation, peak level. And what about my signal to you? Is the audio clear, clean? We're running probably about 250 watts.
Yeah, as long as you got that. Don't you like that overload? As long as you got the, Jimmy, as long as you got that thing turned down on the radio and we're using that as exciter, I'm fine with that. That's the whole idea. So as long as you're doing that, I'm quite well with it. It seems like to me the thing to do is to have fun, and that's what you're doing. So I just, for some reason, I don't know why, but for some reason, until we get the switch on the back, and you know exactly what I'm talking about, I got to add 15 more components to the end of that string, and you hit that switch, and then you can have fun, and then you will see more things. But you did, as you see, I got too close to the mic. You did find out that I was basically, what I was going to say is, you did find out that the switch was on RMS, and now you went to PEP, and you're seeing everything totally different, right?
Oh yeah, I get you know, forward deflection with modulation, whereas with RMS it's backwards.
Yeah, sometimes backwards is not a good thing, Jimmy. At least not over here. If I start pushing the RMS meter backwards, that means I'm in negative swings. And in your situation, I don't think you got to worry about it. I think that the little limiter inside the radio is preventing a lot of that from happening. And unfortunately, I don't have a limiter, so that's why I got to solely rely on doing this particular situation here. And then once it's all said and done, and learn to facilitate everything, and I'm having fun with it so far. I put the dummy load on it and went to 160, and turned her all up, played around with it, went through all the documentation, and then I went to 40, did it all, went through that because the wife wanted me to, you know, I had to fully go through all she read it a couple times and came in and said, okay, now you need to demonstrate, go to 40, go to 7295. I did, went through all the, you know, step by step, exactly how the builder said it had to be done. She put me through the grill on that one, Jim. Boy, I tell you, I was sitting there going, holy moly. You know, BORGI'S something, but boy, Lori is really something. She was putting me through the grill. She's like, well, if you're going to own such a piece of equipment, you're going to facilitate it and run it right and be a good caretaker of it. Or otherwise, I'm going to call him up, tell him come take the toy back. So that's like, oh, Lord, I'm back crying then. But anyway, yeah, you sound, there we go, you sound good. I gotta learn how to back off it. I get the peak limiter here. That'll take care of everything. And again, I'm gonna have to start learning a little bit more about voice characteristics, the sound, what I'm looking for, what I'm going for, everything like that. It's an interesting concept, but like I said, it's a total new world, and I love the way he has set it up to make it LOU-proof. It's dummy-proof, so that I don't get goofy. And I love all the vintage lights. You're going to have to come over maybe, Saturday. Tomorrow I'll be busy, but Saturday, come over and hang out for a while. If she's working, if not, then we'll make it Monday or Tuesday. Well, Monday's the wife's home. But there's these vintage, got a little too close to it again. There's these vintage jewels on the HV light, on the AC light, on the filament light, and my father-in-law's in love with the, you know, the old classic HEATHKIT exciter and everything. He fell in love with it. He said, you know, he said, I can actually understand why you like this stuff. And I said, yeah, I don't have to get in and drive 100 or 200 miles and worry about breaking down. If I break down, I got it breaking down here. Sit in the comfort of my chair and chat with the folks. Let's open up the band and see if anybody's out there wishing to get into the shoe here. Let's kind of pause in between transmits and see if anybody else is wanting to get into the round table on 3875. This is November 9, Golf Tango Oscar in beautiful downtown Clarksville, Indiana. Nothing hurt. Take it over, Jimmy. It's your turn to burn.
Roger, Roger. I'm going to jump out here shortly, but I have rolled some tape there, and I've got, you know, some of your early audio on file, and maybe put together a piece so you can hear what it sounds like over here. Roger, Roger.
Okay, you may have to come over here and make a video of the transmitter itself, and that way you can put it on the vlog as we're experiencing AM in its fidelity. So I'll tell you what, Jim, I'm going to hang around a little bit because I like the band a lot. I'll hang around long enough for somebody else to pop in there. I think I'm going to go in the house and fix me a lunch, but I got my wireless headset on now, and I'm listening to me in 3D color, so everything sounds good. So 73s, and let's do it again later on today if Teresa lets you take the T-Bird away. I got that this-is stuff going on. N9GTO. Jimmy, I'll say 73s. Do a little running a few around here real quick. I'll take an HT with me, Jimmy, so we can chat a little bit on, if you're able. KC9VKV with November 9, Golf Tango Oscar.
Roger, roger that. I'll give you a shot there maybe a little bit later on. So you have a good day for right now. 3 is that way. And this is KC9VKV.